Okay, the instructions for getting your case ready to print has a few more items in it than the disk does, but it starts the same way. Um, whether you're, let's see, so if I go to my case file here, I've got my design. I'm ready to get this pre-press. I don't have these things rotated in place, but before I even start getting ready for pre-press, I'm going to do File, Save As. This is going to be my last name, case, and print, so that I know this is the file that's ready to go, and I load this up for print services. So that's going to be the one I'm working in. Save PDF. I'm going to double check. Yes, Blake's case print is the file that I'm working with. So step one is done. Now, if I go back to the checklist here, check bleeds and alignment. If you're working with the file where you're building everything in Photoshop, using the Photoshop files, just double check here that everything it looks the way that I guess that it should, right? That things are still butted against each other. You haven't clicked on anything and moved anything. And if that's the case, then you don't have to worry about alignment. But if you've drawn your thing in Illustrator, you might want to double check, zoom in here, because there can be cases, like I see this a lot, where from a distance it looks like things are connected, but they're not really, so I just want to come in here. If I zoom in, there should be a snap to grids here, and I can just move this and make sure that those gaps are closed and there's no glitches in the design. I also want to double check my bleeds, so I want to make sure that if I'm using a full coverage of ink across the whole design, again the red line indicates the final page size. I want to bring my color out beyond those edges. This one doesn't have its bleeds yet, so I just want to build them up. I'm just going to pull this color out to the inner tips of those crop marks. So that will do it, and alignment is checked. So on to part 3. So delete the disk preview layer. I have here a layer that I put the disk preview on, again, just so I could see how it would look, how it would sit in the case. Since I've already created my disk file, I no longer need that, so I can just delete that layer and it's out of the way. So that's a checklist item. Then I want to delete the labels, although I want to be careful in this case. If you're working with Photoshop files, this is a simple no problem thing, right? I just delete those labels, and now my design is nice and clean and ready to print. But some of you may have, come on, fan. Some of you may have used, oh, did I not get those on there? Some of you may have used the text here on the spines as your label for your case. These edges here will fold up and be the spines. So there's a couple ways you can delete the layers. Keep an eye on the labels layer. You might not want to delete the whole labels layer if you're working in Illustrator. You might just come in and delete all the things that you didn't design, so that you're making sure you're getting rid of all of those pieces. I can turn off anything that is not on the labels layer. So all of those things are part of the labels layer. This little bit up here is something you want to keep there. That's on the don't unlock layer, which do not touch or unlock that layer, or you can't account for the alignment of the rest of your work. But that's got my alignment and bleeds and the layers deleted. So back to the checklist. Add title to both sides of the spine. I kind of touched on that already. Oops, let me go here. Didn't get all of my stuff. This is good. This is good. I didn't get my design all moved to the design layer. I had some of them working on the Photoshop layer. So I want to click on the thing. Oops, and turn off the labels there. And I want to make sure all of my design is on that design layer. It's not that crucial. If you have some things on the Photoshop layer and some on the design layer and the foreground, background, it's not that big a deal. The big thing is to make sure that you delete any labels that are laying around so that they're not inflicting themselves on your work in the printed piece, because they will show up if you don't delete those labels. Okay, make sure to add the title to both spines. So the spines here are on the back side of the tray insert. So you want to have your title on both spines, and it usually runs this direction down. So put whatever text you want there for the title. Move tray designs to the main page using actions. Okay, this will be the final, but kind of complicated, but hopefully I'll make it a little bit easier for us all. I'm going to go to Window, Actions, and open the Actions window. Now, I already have done this once, so I'm going to delete this. And I've created a couple actions that will help us get your design from the side pages where the design was right side up, and then make sure they transfer over to the right place on the print page. So to do that, I'm going to go to Load. I'm going to, with the Actions window open, again, if I don't have that, Window, Actions, and open that window. And then in the little menu up here at the top, I'm going to go to Load Actions. And then I'm going to navigate to that CD package flat files folder that you downloaded. And there's a CD prepress Adobe Illustrator Actions file, an AIA file. I'm going to open that. And there are two actions in here. One is the inside tray move, and one is the tray back move. So this, I know the labels are deleted, but this is the tray back, and this is the tray inside. So if I've aligned everything and I've got my bleeds working, I just select all of the stuff on the tray inside, and I click on this, and then I hit play. And it moves your artwork into the right position. Same thing over here. I'm going to select my artwork from the back. I'm going to go to my Actions window, select Tray Back Move, and then click play on that. Whoa! Oh, shoot. I'm going to do something object. And appearance. I had some effects that were applied to this, so that might be something that happens in yours. Let me do that. If you have some effects or you've got some warp things and you're rotating them 90 degrees, they will not work anymore. So in that case, I'm going to go to Object, Expand Appearance, and that will make any of those warp effects now regularly drawn things. And I should be able to click Tray Back Move, play, and yes, my design looks the same. So then I go back to my checklist. That's everything. I've moved the tray, I've added the title, I've deleted the labels, I've deleted the disk preview, checked the bleeds, named it, and now all I have to do is save this and upload it to the Google Drive. So there's your checklist for the case design.